This is the kickoff of the exciting Flat Belly Gummy Challenge. So guys, I am about to make sure our CEO is ready to get started. We got a full lineup today. I am excited. Here in Chicago, it's a beautiful day, and so we're going to get started with announcing and telling all the details of our gummy challenge. I hope you guys have taken the time to register. I did. You got your product, but if you don't, you can order as soon as we get off. But I want to bring to you our CEO, someone I've known for over 14 years, who made a big impact on my life, actually changed my trajectory, didn't know it then, but got started and heard her talking about the phenomenal world of social selling. And I knew that I had found my niche when I could work from home or from anywhere in the world with a telephone and a laptop. I've seen her go on. She has been the author already. She's not new to being keeping you fit and giving you a plan to do so. We did the Proverbs diet. We got results from that, right, Gigi and Kathy? I know I did. I saw a picture today.
Well, I did.
Right, I saw a picture today of the book, and I was in that book, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna start looking like that again. I'm gonna tighten my game up. And so she's got a proven track record with helping you get fit with the Proverbs diet, then the Bitters Challenge. And she has been working so diligently and so hard to bring you the Flat Belly Gummy Challenge. And so without further ado, we're going to bring up our CEO of Wakana, the author of Flat Belly, the Gummy Challenge, and all the phenomenal recipes, meal plans, everything you know to become fine as wine, right? Gigi and Melissa, no other than our own CEO, yes. Melissa Boston. There you are.
Wow, Phyllis, thank you. And hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Everybody excited?
I'm excited.
Everyone excited?
Excited.
Yes.
Oh my
excited.
goodness. Wow, wow, wow. You're excited too? Okay, well, at least we got 3 people excited on the line. Okay?
I'm excited as well.
Excited.
I'm excited.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm excited if you are excited.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Everybody's excited, right? Oh my goodness. This has been an exciting last 4 hours. We've been getting the last details together for this very special launch that started today. And so we have a lot to cover, guys. So I don't want to take too much time.
Oh, Melissa, you're muted.
You just muted yourself.
You're muted. I'm unmuted now. Thank you. But thank you so much. I want to first of all welcome all of our guests. Guests, welcome to the Flat Belly Gummy Challenge. Do we have any guests that are on the line? If we do, let us know who invited you and where you are tuning in from. Apologize that we put a new passcode on, but we wanted to make sure we didn't get any of those Zoom bombers, okay? So we wanted to make sure that the only people that are on this line are people that got an invitation from one of our Wakana for Life distributors. But again, it looks like we're here some guests, so we're excited to have you on. Super excited. Also, too, for those of you who actually participated in the Bitters Challenge, even if you didn't submit, if you were eating those healthy meals, if you were taking those bitters, drinking the coffee, let us know if you actually participated in any capacity with our last challenge. We want to see who's out there and what participation we had with the last challenge. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And here's what I'm going to also say, guys. You know, I know with the Bitters Challenge, when we got started with that challenge, you know, the word bitter almost scares you off. Like, who wants to take bitters? But we know they're critical for our health. They're critical for our vitality. But we know that this gummy challenge, it's going to take over the world. Who's ready to take over the world with these gummies? Make some noise. Let me know who's out there and who's ready to take over the world.
Yes.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go, go, go,
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, I'm going to kick this off by really, first of all, jumping right into a little presentation that I prepared for you guys. What I wanted to do, I wanted to make sure that everyone had a chance to kind of preview this amazing book that we have put together. And it's our Flat Belly ebook. It has all the recipes, all of the secrets of taking this gummy challenge to the next level. It's going to give you all the tools that you need to win. And I'm super excited because we're launching a portion of this book today. In fact, this presentation that you see me cover, you're going to get a copy of this, okay? So that you can take this, go ahead and study it, you can share it, you can learn exactly what you need to do to take your Flat Belly Gummy Challenge to the next level. And so some of the things we're going to cover today include our chapter number 1. Okay, chapter 1 really goes through my story. You know, I was a ticking time bomb at the age of 19. I don't know if any of you can relate to that. You know, I was actually in poor health and I didn't even know, because if you would have looked at me, most people thought I was the epitome of health because I was super fit. I was an athlete. I was an all-star cheerleader. I went to London to cheer on TV. But guess what? I didn't know what I didn't know. And that was my body was about to hit a breaking point. So we're going to talk about that and what you can do to avoid those breaking points. Chapter 2, we all have heard the saying that you are what you eat. I mean, do we understand that? We are what we eat. I mean, fiber by fiber, bite by bite, the protein, the carbohydrates, the fat, all the things we consume become a part of our hair, our fingernails, our skin. So we literally have the capability and the power to build a brand new house. And we can do that right here, right now. Anyone want to build a brand new house that's free of aches and pains, free of disease, that has all the vitality in the world? And so that's going to be chapter 2. Chapter 3 is going to talk about rebuilding a new gut. And you're going to really understand the importance of our gut health and why we must protect our gut health. Chapter 4, we're going to get into supplements for the gut, supplements that you can actually take to take your gut health to the next level. Chapter 5, we're going to go through food guidelines for a healthy gut. Because yes, there are certain rules if you want to achieve a healthy gut. We're going to go into chapter 6. It's going to cover the approved grocery list. So no fear. You're going to know exactly what you need to buy when you go into the store. Chapter 7, you're going to hear real testimonials from real people. In fact, you're going to hear from our chief medical officer as she really shares her passion and excitement and why she decided to really get behind this whole flat belly movement. In fact, in chapter 8, we have a chance to go through some delicious, mouth-watering recipes that I'm super excited. Some of them we are sharing for the first time. Usually when you hear the word diet, you think of, oh my goodness, I have to eat rabbit food. What we love about our particular program is you're gonna have the chance and the ability to eat those foods you love, but we just reimagine those foods by repurposing them, okay? We're gonna put new ingredients into some of your favorite recipes, and you're still gonna have the ability to eat those things you absolutely love, some of those comfort foods, some of the foods you might have even grown up on. And so I wanna first start with our disclaimer. And with our disclaimer, just know that our products, they're not for use or sell for persons under the age of 18 years old. If you're pregnant or nursing, it's not for you. This is not the time for you to go on a diet, okay? This is not the time for you to make dramatic changes, but consult your physician if you're on any type of medications. If you have any type of serious underlying medical condition, consult with your physician before you take any new supplements. Also know that all trademarks and copyrights are the property of their respective owners and are not affiliated with or do they endorse this product, okay? These statements have not been approved or evaluated by the FDA, and this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure or prevent any disease. So if we're clear on that, it is time to jump right in. And so the first thing I want to do real quick, you know, it was so exciting to work side by side with Dr. Rita on so many different initiatives. And she has just such a vast amount of knowledge when it comes to living a healthy life. She is a fitness expert. And I'm so excited because yes, in this book as well, she's given a lot of phenomenal, valuable insight. In fact, she wrote the introduction, the preface, and the foreword. So you get a chance to hear directly from our medical expert why she's excited about the Flat Belly Challenge. And you can also read her story right in the book. And then you're going to learn, many of you for the first time, about how I was a ticking time bomb. In fact, my appendix actually...
We can't hear you, Melissa.
Okay.
Do you know they actually me up with pain medication? They gave me pain shots and they sent me back to college. In fact, when I got those pain medications and they also gave me suppositories, I went back to college. It masked all the symptoms that I was really going through because I started to feel numb. I didn't feel the pain anymore, but I didn't feel good either. I just felt numb. And do you know that that appendix was leaking poisons throughout my entire body? It was about a week later when I showed back up at the emergency room that the doctor was actually amazed and astounded once they did the operation that I actually survived this. They told my grandmother that I had a 50% chance of living or dying. And at that time, when my appendix exploded, I had no idea that it was due to my poor lifestyle choices. Because I had a supercharged metabolism, do you know that I ate just what I wanted to eat? I actually worked at McDonald's. I got a scholarship to go to school from McDonald's. It was the Ronald McDonald's Children's Charity. And do you know that all that food that I was consuming all of those years finally caught up with me? I am just so thankful, so blessed that I actually lived to share the story. And that was actually the beginning of my transformation. It's amazing how things happen to you and they can put your life in a whole new direction. Had that not happened, I might not have even been paying attention to health. I might not have become a student of healthy living and healthy lifestyle. I might not have invested thousands of hours, years and years into learning and understanding how our bodies work. So I am a believer that things happen for a reason, and that story propelled me to the next level to learn more about health. And one of the things that I learned, you know, when we think about an appendix, right? You know, typically for most people, it's a minor procedure. But do you know that this actually results in a lot of malpractice? And it's the 5th leading cause of litigation against emergency room physicians. And the reason for that, it often goes misdiagnosed. And when it's misdiagnosed, there's lethal consequences. Do you know that every single year, more than 50,000 people die from an appendix? I mean, if you look at 2015, 50,000 people died because their appendix erupted, and most of them was misdiagnosed. One of the things that I didn't understand back then is when your appendix gets sick, it's because your body is being filled with bacteria, viruses, and parasites. In addition to the fact that sometimes stool actually gets trapped in the tube that joins the large intestines. I want you to think about that for a second. So that was my very first experience with learning about gut health and how we have to protect our guts. In fact, the key to a healthy gut isn't about what you're eating, but more about how that food is being processed and what ingredients they're using to make that food. See, understand this. If we're gonna master our gut, we have to first realize that we have to avoid the foods that are fueling all of those bad gut bacteria that are wreaking havoc on all of our health. In fact, some of you might suffer from uncontrolled cravings, right? Where you crave certain foods. Maybe it's ice cream, maybe it's carbohydrates, maybe you just love bread, okay? And so if you think about these unhealthy cravings, the one thing that I'm gonna let you off the hook on tonight, I'm gonna let you know this. A lot of times we talk about willpower, but we know that willpower doesn't work. Oftentimes we go on a diet, we give it our best shot, and guess what happens? We fall off that diet. But I'm here to let you know that it's not your fault. It's the fault of those gut bugs living within you. That basically means your system has actually already been compromised. And it's just a matter of time before you too can become that ticking time bomb. So we have to get our gut health in check, and we need to do it now. And so I'm going to read this little statement here that I prepared. And here's the question. Imagine you're presented with two doors, okay? Door number 1 and door number 2. Now let's say one of these doors represents your current lifestyle. This is your current way of eating, living, and doing life, okay? Now let's say the other door represents the flat belly lifestyle, okay? What if you knew that door number 1 was going to lead to chronic disease? What if you knew that it's going to lead to issues like diabetes and cancer and heart disease? Would you still continue to choose door number 1, or would you decide to choose another way? A door that can actually lead to better health and vitality. But here's what's shocking. Here's what's shocking. See, here's the reality. Sometimes we know this. We hear about, hey, you are what you eat. We hear about all these bad foods. We know that it's not healthy to eat Popeye's chicken every single day, not even every single week, not even once a year. But we still go back and do it, right? Because it's not you that's actually making the decision. It's actually your gut bugs. I want you all to grab your stomach right now. Put your hands on your stomach right now. Because understand that within your system lies another ecosystem. And this ecosystem is made of over 100 trillion microbes. These microbes outnumber you. And do you know that when you continue to make those bad choices, chances are the bad microbes outweigh the good ones. And so just know that we have to make some radical changes. In fact, if we think about our gut bugs are keeping us emotionally bound to bad habits, to a lifestyle that's filled with weight gain, diabetes, cancer, and other chronic diseases. How in the world can we let these gut bugs win, right? What do we need to do to stop them and to change the course? Well, first and foremost, know this. And Hippocrates said this first. Hippocrates, he said, disease begins in the gut. You are what you eat. And so I'm going to relate this to a story, because I often know that sometimes when we hear stories resonate better than just us giving you facts about here's how your gut works. We all have heard the story about the 3 little pigs and the big bad wolf, right? We've all heard that story, right? Since we probably were 5 years old, maybe when we were 1, or maybe as babies, our parents read us that story, but we've heard that story our whole life. And so I'm going to relate this to your actual body and how you can use this type of story to transform your life. Now let's think about the straw house. The one thing we can all remember from that story is none of us wants a house made out of straw. Can we agree? We do not want a straw house. We know that a straw house is very weak, it's very fragile, and it's easy for viruses and bacteria to penetrate, okay? And so when we think about our bodies in terms of a straw house, what we've done is we've actually put together a straw house test. You can actually answer these 30 questions. And by answering these 30 questions, we're gonna know whether you are a straw house on the verge of disaster. And so these 30 questions are gonna actually be available to you so that you can go take your test once we're offline, so that you're not doing it right now. But it's some basic questions. Do you eat 3 or less servings of vegetables per day? So if you're 3 or less, then guess what? You're gonna put yes there, and that's putting you in jeopardy. Some of you aren't eating any vegetables on a daily basis. Think about the fruit that you're picking. Think about whether or not you're choosing to buy organic. There's certain foods that you might not know that could be helping to make you a straw house, foods like corn. Do you eat corn on a weekly basis, okay? So we're gonna go through all of these questions, even questions like, how often do you feel stressed? Do you suffer from high blood pressure, high blood sugar? See, all of these are things, right? These are choices that can actually put you in jeopardy of actually being that ticking time bomb, okay? So you're gonna be able to assess real quick if you're a straw house. If you get all 30 yeses, it's gonna tell you that you're a ticking time bomb, okay? If you get 29 to 15 yeses, it's gonna let you know that yes, you are a straw house. But then we have the brick house, okay? We remember that brick house. And see, everyone wanted to be the brick house, right? We wanted to build a brick house. Now we call it the hempcrete house, right? And so what is the brick house? The brick house is a foundation that's built to last, okay? It's built to endure a lot of hardships. It's built to endure a lot of different conditions. And we want to build our bodies and our gut to be a brick house. And so how do we do that? We've also put a test together for you so that you can actually see if you are a brick house. And so there's 30 questions that you're gonna answer. And when you answer those questions, it's gonna then let you know if you get 30, congratulations, you are the epitome of what it means to live a healthy lifestyle. Let's look at some of the questions. Do you eat at least 4 servings of vegetables daily? Do you eat at least 3 servings of fruit daily? Do you make it a habit to buy mainly organic food? Do you eat tree nuts daily? It talks about things to avoid. Do you avoid beef and pork? Do you avoid fried foods? And if you're already seeing no's, again, guys, that's a red flag. We've got to change the trajectory of our life. We got to make different decisions, because by the time you get to the end of this list, if you see more no's than yeses, you're in trouble. And there's a lot of questions too regarding, do you get angry often, right? Some people get angry a lot and they don't understand that also is causing some of those blood pressure issues, okay? Do you avoid things like ibuprofen and acetaminophen, right? Do you avoid things that we know can put our health in jeopardy? In fact, here's a question that might surprise most of you. Do you avoid eggplant, tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, and zucchini? Some of you are probably shocked by that very question, because that's a part of your staple. That's what you eat every single day. So we're gonna talk about those foods as well. In fact, some of you might have already heard about nightshades, right? And so we're gonna go into that, but we're also gonna go into what we call pseudo fruit. These are pseudo vegetables. These are actually fruits that people identify as vegetables, and those include the foods that I just named right then and there. And so once you look at both of those tests, if you find that neither one of them apply, chances are you're a stick house. Now that's still not good, but it's better than being a straw house, okay? And so just know there's gonna be some of you on the line, you're gonna be right in the middle. You're trying your best every day to make healthy choices, but you keep backsliding, right? Every other day. And so we're gonna talk about that and address that. But here's the good news. See, you get to control how you build your house. You get to control how you build your gut, because do you know that even if you've done things that we know that could wreak havoc in your system, you can actually rebuild your gut within 6 months, okay? 6 months. And so there's hope for everyone, right? So don't give up. There's hope for you. And the good news is all in your control. And so how do we rebuild that gut? How do we go out there and restore that gut? And so let's talk about something called the microbiome. I know you've heard Dr. Rita talk about this. For many of you, it's a brand new concept that you're hearing about for the first time. And so understand this. Each one of us has an ecosystem inside of our body called a microbiome. In fact, in this microbiome, most of it's housed in our gut. Some of it's actually housed in our skin, but there's over 100 trillion microbes. These are viruses and bacteria that are actually housed within your gut. In fact, some of these include fungus. Let me help me mute out. You gotta keep muting out, everybody. Lines are live, guys. Thank you very much, appreciate that. These microbes include not only the bacteria, but also the fungus. So think about that, parasites that are actually residing within your gut. And if we can get this microbiome in check, if we can get it in balance, we're gonna find that we're gonna actually win not only the battle, but we're gonna win the war, okay? And studies show that up to 90% of diseases can be linked to your gut, 90%. In fact, your gut contains up to 80% of your immune system. And so there's some ways you can quickly destroy that microbiome. Some of them are very obvious, like antibiotics. In fact, antibiotics can actually often throw off and upset your microbiome for years. In fact, many women suffer from different types of yeast infections because they took so many antibiotics they have to build back that healthy bacteria. In fact, your lifestyle, the food you're eating, lacking working out, lacking movement and exercise. Antacids are another way to throw off the microbiome, and they can actually greatly even impair your immune system. And so just know that antacids are not a good thing. You should learn to not eat the foods that are causing your body to be so upset, right? When the body's upset, it's screaming at you to stop eating those foods. But what do we want to do? We want to pop antacids. There's even new research that suggests that antacids are actually linked to certain cancers. In fact, many of you are familiar with the class action lawsuit that's out there right now. My mother actually is a part of that lawsuit because she took an antacid that actually gave her kidney cancer, okay? And so just know that we've got to protect our microbiome and avoid those things that are contributing to its demise. And just know this as well, the average person is reported to have at least 8 undigested meals in their gut at any given time. If you're sitting there and you're holding your gut and you're wondering what's going on, you're bloated all the time, you see all this excess belly fat, it's because we're not properly digesting our foods. We should have an elimination after every meal, at least twice a day. But I know there are people out there that sometimes don't even eliminate once a week. And that's a sign, that's a red flag that your body is in serious trouble. So let's look at some house rules. Let's look at some house rules for good health. And some of them are pretty basic, like eating more fiber, drinking plenty of water, avoiding those fake sugars. If you've ever broken open a pack of Splenda, know that Splenda can actually destroy your good, healthy bacteria for almost a year. Do you know that Splenda? You know, we think of that as the better form, better than the blue or the red, but they're all bad when they're artificial. No artificial sugars. Avoid antibiotics, right? Unless it's life-threatening, right? For me, when I had my surgery back when I was 19, I was so full of toxins that in order for them to spare my life, they had to put me on high-dose antibiotics. I was on high-dose antibiotics for weeks. No one could even touch my stomach. I was in terrible shape even after the surgery. So there's times that antibiotics might save your life, but it's not something you want to just routinely take for things that are not life-threatening. So talk to your doctor about that and look for better alternatives. Stimulate your lymphatic system, okay? Stimulate your lymphatic system. How do you do that? You can get a rebounder. You can get something called a Chi Machine, which we're super excited to share with our Ruby Retreat winners, the Chi Machine, and how that can help you get your body in check. Eat a variety of fruits and vegetables. Avoid antacids and those antibiotics that we talked about. Eliminate red meat and pork. Eat a plant-based diet. Reduce stress with CBD. Get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Supplement with bitters, probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes. So these are just some of the ways we can start getting our body in better health, building a better gut system. And so 4, we want to cover supplements. And what I'm super excited about is we've actually brought some amazing supplements that are really designed to address gut health, okay? Supplements for gut health. Let's look at some of those supplements. We have our Flat Belly Coffee. You know, super excited about our Flat Belly Coffee. If you've ever been on our Wednesday call, you've had a chance to hear directly from our medical expert, but it's formulated with green tea extract. Do you know that this is a substance that can boost your metabolism and promote fat burning? Green coffee bean. I mean, you've heard of green coffee bean, I know, because it's so powerful because it has these amazing antioxidant properties that can actually lower your blood pressure and aid in weight loss. It promotes fat burning and increases energy. We've heard of Garcinia cambogia extract, right? It reduces that belly fat, lowers the fat levels in your blood, lowers cholesterol, and even those triglycerides. We even have CBD infused into this coffee that helps fight inflammation. We know that inflammation is the silent killer. It also supports weight loss. In fact, inflammation can be a chief reason why we have this insulin resistance, where our body's no longer able to burn fat and really boost our metabolism because of the fact that that insulin is inhibiting your fat burning capabilities. And so we want to lower that insulin and get it at a healthy level. And so today we're super excited because of this webinar. We actually are launching our Flat Belly Gummies where you can buy them individually for the first time. We do have an announcement though, because the ones you're buying today are actually 500 milligrams in the entire bottle. That's 25 milligrams per gummy. Those actually launch at $39.95. That's the special price. They retail for $59.95. But these are designed to help improve gut health, boost your metabolism, control appetite, and even reduce inflammation. So let's look at what's inside of the Flat Belly Gummy to really give it its amazing effects and benefits. We've all heard of chromium, right? Chromium's actually an essential trace element. It's a trace mineral that the body actually needs to function properly. And so when we look at the form of chromium that we have, it actually helps insulin function properly. It aids in weight loss. It assists the body in processing carbohydrates and fats. And it actually even helps with metabolic syndrome. I want you to think about that for a second. So many people right now have issues losing weight because they have metabolic syndrome, where they have that insulin resistance. But our products are formulated to help fight against that. And let's look at another ingredient. And that ingredient is actually from the barberry plant. And this is very exciting because it's a plant-based alkaloid made of organic nitrogen-rich compounds, and its therapeutic effects on humans is absolutely powerful. It's also in the bitter family, so it's also a bitter. So we have a little bitter inside of those Flat Belly Gummies. We call it berberine. And so that's the form in which we utilize, called berberine. And some of the benefits: it helps to reduce inflammation, supports healthy immune function. It actually helps remove excess sugar, aids in weight loss, boosts metabolism, and reduces that oxidative stress. And the importance of reducing oxidative stress is critical, because oxidative stress is the reason why we often carry all of that belly fat, right? Our cortisol levels are through the roof. So we've got to reduce that oxidative stress in order for our bodies to work efficiently. And so we're super excited about that particular ingredient also inside of our Flat Belly Gummies. But we also have bitters. Our bitters are actually something we launched a few months ago. We launched the challenge, but even before that, we launched bitters available for individual sale. And so when you think about what is a bitter can include any combination of herbs and roots and bark and fruit, seeds and flowers. See, our bodies have an abundance of bitter compound receptors, and so we actually need bitters. In fact, they consider it one of the 7 basic tastes. And so our bodies are actually wired to actually look for bitter. And what bitter does, it actually sends a warning to be careful, because sometimes bitter substances could actually be poisonous. And because of that bitter flavor, what happens, it actually causes the body to secrete more of those acids in the stomach to break down food. So that's why it's so powerful, because it's triggering your body. So when you get a healthy bitter, a safe bitter, a bitter that is really necessary for the body to work to work properly, it actually stimulates those stomach acids. So you don't need those antacids, right? We actually need acids in our stomach to break down food. And the reason why we're looking for antacids, because our stomachs aren't making enough acid. And so what happens is, when we're not making enough acid, food goes right back up our esophagus, okay? And that causes that acid reflux. And so we take antacids, which is the opposite of what we need, okay? And so what we need are bitters. Bitters are a great way to address so many different types of issues. In fact, if you look at some of the benefits of bitters, they help with the immune system, inflammation, sugar and appetite control, liver and health benefits, even digestion and gut benefits. There's so many amazing uses and benefits of our Flat Belly bitters. Now, before we get into the rest of tonight's training, I also want to let everyone know that if all you did, tonight, you wanted to jump on just to hear a little bit more about our challenge, perhaps learn about the products, then guess what? You can do just that, and you can actually go take advantage of our Gummy Challenge Pack. In fact, we actually have a new version of our pack that launches today. Some of you actually participated when we actually had those gummy jars where we had 1,000 milligrams on those jars, right? And so we actually have a 25 milligram gummy. In fact, the challenge pack, starting today, will have 2 of those inside of the challenge pack. So the entire jar is going to have 500 milligrams. And anyone that already purchased our previous pack, we're going to send you some Flat Belly Gummies for free. You're going to get some additional gummies. And the reason why we think that the 25 milligrams are such a game changer, think about if the gummies have 50 milligrams, you can probably take a half of one twice a day, right? A half a gummy twice a day. But with it having 25 milligrams, you can actually take those gummies maybe 2-3 times for the day. And because they're helping with so many different things that you're experiencing throughout the day, isn't it better to take that gummy multiple times per day, right? And so we're super excited about our new 25 milligram gummies, 500 milligram in the entire bottle. Again, if you've already got the other challenge pack, you're gonna get some free gummies in the mail because we're gonna give you some of these 25 milligram gummies, okay? And if you're brand new, you're just starting your challenge today, you're gonna start with the 25 milligram gummies. So we're gonna let Dr. Rita talk about the science of the 25 milligrams and all that good stuff, but I wanted to go ahead and let you know there's a little bit of a difference of what you see today. These are gonna retail at a slightly lower price, and you're gonna actually be able to take more of those, which are gonna help assist you in all of your fat burning and weight loss. We know that sometimes more is better. And when it comes to these gummies, yes, you want to be able to take 2 or 3 of them every single day. So we're super, super excited about the gummy challenge. And at the end, we're going to go through all the details about our Flat Belly Lifestyle page on Facebook and how you can join and win cash and prizes. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about what you're going to experience with our ebook with chapter 5, okay? So chapter 5 is going to go through foods that sabotage our gut health, because here we are, we're working on this Flat Belly Bitters Challenge. We're getting our supplements. And even if you didn't change your diet, there are some of you that would still lose weight. We know that for most people, it takes more than just having good supplements. Good supplements can help, but you're going to need some assistance, right? And so there are certain foods that actually can sabotage your gut health. And we want to make sure that while we're on this challenge, we're avoiding those types of foods. One of the ones that you might be hearing about for the first time is lectins. Anyone who's on the line that's familiar with lectins, go ahead and hit us up in the chat. Let me know who is familiar with what a lectin is. Go. And we're going to see who's familiar. Got a few people that's familiar. Okay, great, great, great. And some of you are not familiar with what a lectin is. So we've heard of gluten. Everyone's heard of gluten, right? We've heard of what gluten is, and we try to avoid gluten. We buy gluten-free. Well, imagine something that is actually even worse than gluten that they never tell us about, okay? And that's lectins, which are also known as anti-nutrients, okay? And so we're gonna talk a little bit about the seeds of some of the outer skin of certain vegetables that are really fruit, right? We call them pseudo vegetables because they're really fruit. If you've ever read the Bible, what does it say? Fruit bearing seeds, right? Or seed bearing fruit, seed bearing fruit. So anything with a seed is technically a fruit, right? We know that. So whether it's an olive, it's a fruit. Whether it's an avocado, it's a fruit. Eggplant is a fruit. Tomatoes are a fruit. Cucumbers are technically a fruit. But understand some of them have very soft seeds. And some of them have very soft skin. And what happens is because of those soft seeds and skin, we actually wash those seeds off. We actually wash the skin. And what do? We eat tomatoes. We eat eggplants. So here's what you need to understand about lectins. When you think about the human race and how we are designed by our Creator to survive, we also have to recognize that in nature, animals and plants are also designed to survive. They're designed to give life to future generations. And most seeds, you don't chew up, right? Like if you take an avocado seed, you're not gonna take that avocado seed and chew it and eat it, right? So in an avocado, you're not gonna get any lectins, right? But there are certain soft seeds that they're so susceptible to predators, those fruit have to actually give a warning sign to keep off those predators. And here's why. Because they want those soft seeds to do what they were designed to do, to give birth to future generations, to give birth to future cucumbers and tomatoes. So they're supposed to survive. But what do we do with tomatoes? We eat the whole tomato, we eat the seed, we eat the skin. If you go to Italy, they take the skin off and they de-seed their tomatoes. They knew way back when that when you eat the seeds and you eat the skin, it can be very toxic to your health. That's why some people who eat tomatoes and then they stop eating tomatoes, they find their arthritis goes away. There are some people that eat tomatoes and they wonder why they were suffering with so much acne. They stop eating those tomatoes and the acne goes away. And so we're going to talk about the havoc of certain things that we don't even know is out there that's actually hurting our health. And so if you're going to eat tomatoes, take off the seeds, take off the skin. If you're going to do cucumbers, take out the seeds and take off the skin. So just know that these items have to give those anti-nutrients out in order for them to survive for future generations, because it's their job to protect their future offspring, just like we must protect our future offspring. So some other things that are pretty obvious, right? This is something that's probably not new to most of you, but it's actually red meats. When you think about red meat, you know, when I was first doing the Proverbs diet, one of the things that I found in my research was that red meat was responsible for so many deaths due to colon cancer, heart disease, and so many chronic issues. And so you really want to avoid or limit your consumption of red meat. If you're going to consume it, do it in moderation and make sure you're choosing grass-fed, okay? Grass-fed and no more than once a month. Lamb or bison are much better alternatives for you. Something else to be mindful of, and that is farm-raised fish, okay? You know, when we go cook our fish, and many of you might fry it up, it looks nice and pretty. But what we don't recognize is a lot of chicken is fed, or a lot of fish is fed chicken feces, okay? So that's the poop of chickens, okay? And they're a source for antibiotics because guess what? They get sick and toxic, and so they give our farm-raised fish all these antibiotics. And so we're eating farm-raised catfish, farm-raised tilapia, and do you know that they're actually linking a lot of these farms to actually diseases in humans, because some of the fish are so toxic, they're passing those toxins on to us, and we're ending up sometimes with tumors, with cancer. And so we got to be careful. If you're going to do any farm-raised fish, make sure you select a grocery store that has responsibly farmed fish. There are grocery stores out there where they do sell farm-raised fish, but those fish are farmed in conditions that are not so toxic, okay? And so we have to be mindful of that, because this is just an example of catfish. They're all crammed together. They're not out there eating what they're designed to eat in the waters, right? In the lakes, right? They're in these farms, and guess what they're eating? They're eating whatever it is that those farmers are feeding them. And oftentimes it's chicken, and it's things that we wouldn't eat if you don't eat chicken, but you're getting the chicken through your fish. And so you got to really be careful about farm-raised fish. It's very, very toxic. And so then we have to think about our chickens as well. Understand that overweight chickens equal overweight humans, okay? And so we have to realize that we have to avoid certain things that we're getting indirectly from our food supply, like soy. Sometimes we avoid wheat, but we're getting it in our food supply because we're eating chickens that are eating the wheat and the soy. And just know that if a chicken is overweight and you're eating those overweight chickens, chances are you're eating the same diet that made them overweight, so you're gonna be overweight as well. Our cows are getting sick, okay? They're designed to eat grass, but they're also getting fed corn, wheat, and soy. This makes them overweight. This makes them sick. They're giving antibiotics. Some of them get growth hormones. So we are consuming those by default. So again, if you're gonna eat chicken, get pasture-raised chicken. If you're gonna have cows, get grass-fed cows. Very, very important. But see, here's the good news. See, the good news is you have a choice, okay? See, you can rebuild a new gut and the new you. It's never too late to choose door number 2. And so let's get started, okay? We're gonna show you just a few of the items that are on the menu, and then we're gonna bring up some of these amazing testimonials. And so if you're ready for a serious healing, for those cravings to disappear, let's see what we are cooking up here with our Flat Belly Gummy Challenge, okay? So this is our approved healthy gut grocery list. And don't worry, this actually will have the full list with over probably 200 items that will be downloaded to our Facebook page. And so you can connect and download the grocery list tonight. But also too, we give you food guidelines. It's gonna tell you how many vegetables you should eat, what type of cruciferous vegetables, root vegetables, fruit, starchy vegetables. So it goes through every single type of food so that you can actually make great, smart choices. It's gonna talk about getting that wild-caught fish, the wild-caught seafood, okay? The pasture-raised chicken. It's gonna talk about approved grains. So yes, there are grains that we do eat, and those are the 2 grains, sorghum and millet, okay? And these have great benefits, a lot of anti-tumor and anti-cancer benefits in some of these grains. And so you're going to learn a little bit more about those grains inside of our ebook. And now testimonials. One of my favorite parts is really hearing more about the stories of people transforming their health. And so testimonials. In our first ebook, you were able to read Dr. Rita's story. You were able to learn more about Dan Johnson. You saw a little bit more about Phyllis and Gigi, just some of the inspiring stories that really helped to set the tone for our very first challenge. In fact, we had a couple of people that won $2,500 in cash and prizes. And so we say congratulations to Tamika Hunt and Susan Wallace. They won that amazing gift, and we are so excited for them. In fact, Tamika had a chance to stop by the office. She shared with me, her experience using those bitters and the coffee. She was one of the first to try our flat belly gummies. Tamika, we are so very proud of you. And then, of course, we had so many of you who participated with us. You had a chance to share your story. You went on that journey with us. And so we thank you, thank you, thank you. And Susan Wallace, if you're out there also too, a big shout out, because Susan Wallace was also one of our winners as well. We are so proud of you, Susan Wallace. And so with that being said, what I want to do now, we're going to set the tone for the rest of our challenge. And how we're going to do that, we're going to first go ahead and share with you just a couple of these amazing recipes, okay? A couple of these amazing recipes. So in chapter 8, you get a chance to learn about breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts, the alcohol, how you can dine out. You get to learn about everything in chapter 8. In fact, we give you breakfast ideas. In fact, you get to learn about the Green Goddess smoothie. We teach you about our chocolate protein smoothies. You get to get my favorite go-to recipes, because yes, you get to eat waffles and pancakes on this program. We actually have cassava waffles, we have cassava pancakes, and we have maple syrup with 0 sugar, and it all tastes amazing. I tell people all the time, once a week, I feel like I'm at Cracker Barrel. It's kind of like going to the Waffle House, but you don't have any of those bad side effects that you get from those bad, unhealthy restaurants. But then you're going to see a lot of green vegetables. You're going to see a lot of recipes to inspire you to really incorporate more vegetables, more fruit. We have a recipe for our flat belly coffee. You're going to actually get some protein meal replacement shakes. We give you lunch ideas. In fact, this is one of my most exciting recipes. I call it my lemon butter shrimp fettuccine pasta, and it tastes amazing. So imagine we actually have a flat belly pasta designed to help you lose weight, get in shape. This might look scrumptious and delicious, and it is, but guess what? It's very nutritious. In fact, our secret noodles are this cognac root that has only 5 calories, okay? 5 calories, it's loaded with fiber, and even my husband loves this meal. He's told me several times, I need to open my own restaurant, right? So this is an amazing way for you to get back in shape, but learn to eat a different way, okay? We have our veggie hemp burgers and our garlic fire coleslaw. And we do hemp burgers. We don't do the Beyond Burger. That's full of lectins. So there's very specific reasons why we pick the foods we pick. So if you follow the program, you're going to find not only does your vitality return, but you're going to fall in love with some of these meals. And so we share with you exactly where to go get these foods. So you're going to have a chance to screenshot those and know exactly what we're using, the exact type of burgers, the brands. You can learn the crust that we use for our pizza. Phyllis had a chance to cook one of our recipes, and look, she knocked it out the park using our cauliflower Italian crust. It tastes amazing. In fact, there are so many recipes in this ebook, it's going to blow you away. From our shrimp and cassava tacos, even some flat belly barbecue sauce. Yes, you can make barbecue sauce without using tomatoes, and it tastes delicious. Lamb chops, for those of you who are trying to replace red meat, well, it's another red meat, but it's a healthier red meat. So lamb chops are a much better version for you. You can even learn how to do French fries again. For those of you who want those carbs. If you crave French fries, guess what? We have recipes for sweet potato fries that will absolutely delight those taste buds, okay? And even crab cakes, okay? Crab cakes. Can you imagine eating crab cakes and actually losing weight, keeping that flat belly intact? So we're gonna show you how to make those crab cakes. And again, you're gonna see lots of salads because you gotta get enough fruit, you gotta get enough vegetables in your diet every single day. And then baked salmon, we know that wild caught fish is one of the best types of animal products you can have. Fish is the healthier alternative to chicken or poultry, right? So do wild caught fish often. Cauliflower mac, okay, with vegan cheese. So we have some things for those who love savory foods. All of this is in the ebook. Antioxidant salads, because again, you can't get enough greens, okay? So you gotta get those greens in. We have a crispy pan-seared halibut. Oh my goodness. Mouth-watering, so delicious. I fall in love with this dish every time I have it. And then we teach you daily habits, okay? There's certain things that you should really incorporate every single day if you wanna have good gut health. I do an avocado every single day. I do onions every day. Garlic, you need to do nuts like the almonds and the walnuts. No cashews, right? Cashews we don't do peanuts. But we do the walnuts, we do the pistachios, we do the almonds. There's a lot of great healthy nuts like macadamia, right? So there's many nut alternatives for you. And then we also want to do berries every day. So you want to do mixed berries, the dark berries. You want to do green leafy vegetables. So these are daily habits that you want to incorporate every single day if you want to have good gut health, okay? So hopefully you screenshotted that because this is a very important list of foods to knock out those bad guys. We got to keep those bad bacteria at bay with these good alternatives. Olive oil. It's critical to get olive oil into your system, but you want to get real olive oil, not the fake stuff you're going to see at most grocery stores. Bragg's has a really good one, but here's the deal, guys. Olive oil is really beneficial. If you look at the Mediterranean diet, one of the secrets, the reason why it works, is not all the grains they're eating, it's the olive oil. The olive oil actually help reducing all the inflammation they're causing when they're eating all those grains, okay? And so just know olive oil is very, very critical. And then we even have flat belly desserts, okay? These are desserts that taste delicious, no or low sugar, and they're loaded with fiber. That's the opposite of most desserts. Most desserts are loaded with sugar, and that's why it causes all the imbalances with our insulin. And so we also encourage you when you're doing dessert to think about having fruit as a substitution for dessert. So instead of doing more dessert, do fruit in place of dessert. But then if you want to indulge a little bit, we have everything from our strawberry milkshakes without dairy, okay, to our vanilla ice cream that tastes so delicious, and it's no sugar, and it's loaded with fiber, okay? Loaded with fiber and no sugar, and it tastes delicious, okay? Tastes incredible. In fact, we have our so delicious mint ice cream. So our mint chocolate chip ice cream, no sugar, loaded with fiber. We have our dark chocolate covered strawberries. The only sugar you're gonna get is natural sugar from the strawberry, but no sugar in the chocolate, and it tastes amazing. Butter pecan ice cream. I mean, this is one that I love. In fact, I can do this. I can eat that whole little pint right there, okay? It's one net carb, that's it. Now, the ones that I showed you earlier were dairy-free. For those of you who might do a little bit of dairy every now and then, this one has a little bit of dairy. What I'm excited about, it has no sugar and only one net carb, okay? So I can eat the whole pint, and guess what? It doesn't even bloat me. Is that crazy? That's because it's good ingredients, right? Good, healthy ingredients. Now, here's some chocolate for those of you who just love to snack on unhealthy chocolate. Perhaps you love to run to the grocery store and you buy candy, okay? I mean, how many people buy candy? We should be avoiding candy, but we can't help it because as kids, that's what they gave us, and now as adults, we love our chocolate, right? And so here are some amazing chocolates that you can go ahead and write down. The Choc Zero, the Lily Salted Caramel, the dark chocolate covered almonds. These are all amazing. They taste so delicious. And guess what? No added sugar. We have some of them that have maybe 1 gram of sugar, like the keto bark here. And this one is actually hazelnut. It has 1 gram of sugar. It has, I think, 13 grams of fiber. So very, very beneficial for fiber. Remember, you need 25 grams of fiber a day if you're a woman. If you're a man, about 35 grams. And so to get 13 grams in a little bitty snack bar that tastes amazing, that is just unbelievable. And then for those of you who like a good Reese's cup, maybe you can't stand the thought of going without peanut butter, because we don't do peanut butter on the Flat Belly Challenge, right? But guess what? We have something called Unreal. It has almond butter. It reminds me of peanut butter, but it's so delicious. Now, this one does have 4 grams of sugar, so that's something you would want to eat in moderation. But if you think about a typical candy bar that has 36 grams, right, it's a much better alternative, especially for the kids. When you're trying to get them to eat something healthier, this is a great snack. So guess what? People that trick or treat at my house, they're getting that for Halloween, okay? And so there's even some indulgences you can have, whether it's wine and spirits. I know sometimes when we have a program like this, we think, oh my goodness, we can't have wine, we can't have alcohol. Well, you can actually have a little bit of wine. A little bit of wine actually has antioxidants. So there's some health benefits, okay? So you can have up to 4 ounces of wine. I don't recommend daily, but at least a couple times a week. Champagne, you can have up to 4 ounces or less of champagne. It's actually just as healthy as red wine, so it's loaded with antioxidants. You can have 1 ounce or less of any type of dark alcohol, like a tequila, but make sure you get aged tequila, not the clear stuff. Get the dark alcohol if you're going to indulge. And we do have a recipe that literally so many people have fallen in love with. It is the Flat Belly Margarita. Oh my goodness, I know there's some of you who've tried this, and it literally is so amazing. You will think it's just a regular margarita. We even do one with bitters. We call it our Flat Belly Bitters Margarita. We have a guide to eating out so that you can learn exactly how to eat out and how to do it properly, so that you can realize, hey, yes, you can still eat out. You can still have fun. You can still live your life. There's just a better way to do it. And if you're ready to join the Gummy Challenge, we're going to go through next steps and how you can go ahead and get that Gummy Challenge pack. But what I want to first do is I want to go ahead and bring up our Chief Medical Officer, because she is just a wealth of knowledge. In fact, on Wednesday, she's going to go ahead and take you to the next level as she shares the science behind all of these amazing products inside of our Gummy Challenge. But tonight, I really want to bring her up. She's traveling, so I know she's there in Florida, just doing so much. So Dr. Rita, I'm going to go ahead and bring you up so that you can share just a little bit more. And then we're going to bring up a few testimonials.
Thank you so much. Am I unmuted? Oh,
You
I'm so
are
excited. What? Just a wealth of knowledge. Fantastic information. Melissa, I'm just going to take less than 5 minutes for those who may be new to CBD, because CBD is in those products except the bitter tea, just so they understand that we are talking about a part of the plant that doesn't get you high, right? When we talk about cannabis, we think, well, doesn't cannabis make me have the munchies? But absolutely not. We're talking about a part of the plant, CBD, that actually helps you lose weight. And you heard a lot from Melissa. CBD helps to suppress your appetite. It actually helps to turn the white fat into brown fat. That helps speed up your metabolism, and it absolutely reduces the risk of metabolic disorder, high cholesterol, hypertension, heart disease. So when we look at the science, this is not a magical potion. This is not a snake oil. Actually, CBD works in the body through an endocannabinoid system, where when we consume that Flat Belly coffee, when we belly gummy, when we drink that belly coffee, it actually binds to receptors in our body to put our body in balance. And when we talk about an imbalance, there's hormonal imbalances on why we gain weight. There's inflammatory cells that occur in the pancreas on why we have diabetes, and even inflammation in the fat cells and why we are obese. So all of this science brings me back to CBD, yes, works in the brain. It helps to reduce those sensations of hunger. It helps to reduce the glucose by working on insulin resistance. There's science behind how this works. But what I love best is how CBD turns that white fat, that predominantly is responsible for storing and supplying energy, but it's that excessive white fat that makes us obese, that makes us hypertensive, and even diabetes. CBD turns that white fat into brown fat. Brown fat burns the calories. Brown fat is healthier. Brown fat is even shown to be more abundant in those who have healthier weight. So to sum it up, again, CBD works in our endocannabinoid system by helping to reduce our appetite, to help convert that bad fat, that white fat, into brown fat, to increase our metabolism, and to overall reduce metabolic disorders. So when we look at, again, this challenge, there is absolutely no replacement for a healthy diet and regular exercise. That's why we're equipping you all with that ebook, with these amazing recipes, suggestions for a healthy diet. We're going to be recommending some workouts, sharing workouts so that you can be absolutely successful in this challenge. What did I recommend? I recommend that when you get your products, or you may already have your products, that you start with a detox. Do that 4 days of flat belly bitter detox. Then move into what we call the real deal, right? You're incorporating those recipes and healthy meal plans from the ebook. You're using your flat belly gummy, one gummy about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before each meal. You're using the flat belly brew, the coffee, at least one time in the morning. There are folks out there that don't like coffee. I like putting the coffee in my smoothie. It's a great way to get in the coffee to help reduce those cravings, to reduce those carb cravings, to give you energy, and to give you what CBD is doing in the body as it relates to weight loss. So I'm gonna give it back over to you, Melissa. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday, where we'll be going over more details. Again, invite your guests, because it's not too late for them to join our Flat Belly Challenge.